Yo, 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 this is Young Parker representing Anchored In, and you're tuned into the Country Fan Mail Podcast.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Clutodon, Country Fan Mail Podcast. I am joined with my amazing host, Miss Pisces Princess.
Hey, fan makers.
And this episode right here is super special, super important. This cat right here, this gentleman was my third interview, maybe my second or my third interview ever. And this was before Country Fan Mail Podcast. This was when it was Black Wall Music LLC. And I changed it because it sounded like a record label. And he was dope enough to come onto the show. We had a really dope conversation about this really dope track that he released back then. But so many bodies of music have been dropped since then, and we are going to dive into each one. But with that being said, I want to introduce to the stage the dope artist, the dope person. Honestly, people be singing your praises all the time, man. Young Parker, appreciate you coming out to the show, bro.
No doubt, no doubt.
Yay, welcome back. We were actually talking earlier. I said welcome back, but I didn't even exist during the last interview. So I guess I get to be like the new kid on the block here.
Already. So yeah, first question that we want to ask you, we have to ask everybody, what was the first song that you listened to when you woke up this morning?
Sheesh. What was the first song I listened to this morning? I don't know. I was listening to K Tronada's radio on Spotify. So it was some instrumental, but it was hard. So that's all I can really tell you.
It's actually really crazy that you say K Tronada, because when I listened to the vibe, like that was like it was a K Tronada-esque track. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, the Mad, shout out to the Mad Geek. Y'all were able to tap into that realm. Honestly, the whole project itself, Odyssey, was just really, what I'm saying, it was dope. I think the last track, let me get my mind right. I was gonna glance down at my notes real quick. This Is a Goodbye. That track, it changed the mood of all the other songs, but it still was like, you were singing, like which I could really appreciate. And so kind of
I don't know about singing.
You was doing it, man.
I'm making noises.
Hey, I call it I call people who sing but they don't sing, I call it draking.
There you go.
I feel it, man. So kind of diving into, actually, you know what? Let me slow down. Before I dive into the projects, because I'm really excited to, let me go back to some things that I wish that I'd asked you in the first interview. Tell me about when you really first started, writing. Like, when was the first time that you picked up a pen and was like, I'm pretty nice at this?
Oof. There's two different distinctions in that question. So like the first time I picked up a pen would be like 2007. But when I finally, like, when I knew I was good, that didn't happen till like probably 2020. When I made 3 projects in a year, and like I figures like, okay, I actually do have something, like I don't know what that something is. I still enjoy making a lot of different types of music. I don't like being boxed into just hip hop or to just popish sounds or whatever. But yeah, 2020 is probably when I realized I had something.
Yeah. Okay. And that's, I hear a lot of different, I've asked that question in a lot of different ways. And, I appreciate that. I appreciate all the responses, but I appreciate that response a lot, because a lot of people will say, I was 6 years old, or I was 10, or, when I first picked up, I was like, all right, I like, so, and you said there were two different distinctions to that question. So I want to go back to when you first picked up writing. Were you just writing? Were you doing poetry? Saying, like, were you writing to actually rap? What kind of writing were you doing?
Oh, well, shoot. That's a whole nother question for me, because like I made joke parody songs in like 07 or 8, like dumb stuff. I wasn't writing for the sake of like, I want to actually do this. I didn't start doing that until end of 2017 going into 2018. All right, I'm gonna try rapping a shot. I think I covered this in the first interview, but I was crumping before, I was dancing, and then because of all the drama, I was like, I don't really want to do this going into my 30s. So I was like, let me find another outlet that I enjoy, and it was music. So I didn't really pick up writing until after dancing, which was, again, was going to be around 2017, 2018.
So you said that you had the pivotal year of 2020 when you had 3 projects come out in that same year, and I know from the previous interview, that was a difficult year for you. I mean, it was a difficult year for us all with COVID.
Mhm.
Where was the muse that you really found the silver lining?
I think I think what helped was the pandemic in a weird way, because like I had just tried out to I was doing graphic design, and I was wrapping cars and doing signage. That was like my main gig, but I didn't want to do that anymore. I was like, I want to have a career, just for something that's going to really sustain me while I try and do this music. So I stopped doing that. Tried doing life insurance sales. I hate sales. I don't know why I thought I would like doing that. And like I did it like,
Man,
yeah,
that is
I did
not for
it
the
right.
creative type.
Yeah, no. And I did like right before the pandemic happened. So the time where I would have got money, like money, like I was making a decent check, don't get me wrong. But I
Mm.
just hated all the driving and the door to door stuff. But the time where I would have got money, I had already quit.
Yeah.
So at that point, they was handing out them unemployments, once a week. So your boy, that was the time to get the bread. So, you
Cash
know,
in, cash
and cash out, right? And it's like, for me, I'm the type, like I have to work under pressure if I'm gonna like do anything that's big or impactful in my life. So I either have to go to school, and it's like, well, I gotta do it now. I got this debt, you know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah.
I gotta, lock in somewhere somehow. So for me, it was like, all right, well, I know I wanted to change my career or whatever, and I know that this money is free or whatever for the time being. It was like, well, shoot, I worked all my life to this point. They owe me something, at least pay for me to change my career. So, I think being under pressure with that, at the time, I went back to like a tech school. I was studying to get my certs for IT, which is what I'm in now. But in the midst of that, and just having a little bit more free time, a little bit more quality of life, because my time wasn't as free back then, or prior to then, it allowed me to just, all right, cool. Like when I'm done with school, when I'm done with trying to focus on what I want to do, I can go to this music and try out some stuff. So it's like, one project's doing this, another project. I have a project called OESN, and that means on a Saturday night. So like I try to do a whole thing in one day. So it's like, all right, cool. Let's add another OESN out there. All right, that's done. Let's add another bull out there. Just something to just keep
Mhm.
cranking music to stay productive and just stay creative, and keep me sane while I was focusing on other things. So that was probably the muse, quote unquote.
There's always somebody waiting on you to fail, waiting on you to give up, for you to quit. My question is for them. Why you worried about me? What you doing? Huh? I like that. That was a dope question, because I think that you know everybody had a different experience through the pandemic, whether lost people, didn't lose people, got money, lost money, started the business, lost the business, all the different things. So and one thing that I used to always say, and I'll just say, when I didn't I wasn't able I wasn't in a position, or I don't know the right way to say it. I didn't collect the unemployment when it was hyped up, and I used to always be like, man, like everybody getting this money, like I really hope that they put that shit to to business, because like I
Yeah,
never hated it. Was never like a damn, I wish I was getting it. I was thankful that I still had a job.
Right,
But I was,
exactly.
what I'm saying, but it was like, hey, yo, everybody getting that shit. Like I really hope they, like, every time I seen a new business pop up, I was like, fuck yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I was,
yeah,
what I'm saying, hype about. So that's really dope that you really applied that shit. And then also to drop so many projects. I mean, shit, I started, I started Black Wall Music LLC in 2020. That's when I really got it's something that I always wanted to do. I was writing, music reviews on Facebook, like, long ass paragraphs of like reviewing artists and shit and stuff like that. And eventually I was just like, let me put something to it. And then pandemic hit, everything happened. I was like, shit, let's get it popping. And
Yeah.
I feel like everything, it changed a lot of people. And going into your projects, one thing that I realized about your, not just your rhyme scheme, but even how the production that goes into your projects, like the way the versatility in your projects is crazy. Like when I was playing some tracks from Lost and Found, and Shay was just like, "Who is this?" And I was like, "Young Parker," and she was just like, Young Parker, and I was like, The Vibe, and she loves that song. She was like, that's the same guy, and I was just like, yeah, but he sounds completely different, right? And I was just like,
that's my shit, yo. Like literally, it's one of the morning stream like regular songs that I play. I'm just like, sorry, that's my shit.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. I'm glad to hear that.
For sure, man. So talk to us about that versatility that you have, because I feel like there's so many artists, and I'm gonna finish, but I trust you. I'm gonna ask you a question at some point. There's so many artists that they switch it up, but they switch it up almost like they almost change the path that they're going on, versus being able to switch it up and then go back to who you actually like. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to
Yeah,
get to.
no, I get that. I'm a fan of music, so I definitely get it. For me, man, it's just about being authentic. Like I am somebody that can blend in a lot of different communities because I'm from a lot of communities. I grew up in music, I grew up in church, but I also grew up around my cousins doing hood rat things. So um, it's like I was the guy that could go to the lunchroom. Granted, I was introverted, so I wasn't about to do that. I don't want to engage with that many people. But like I could go longboard with this group and then go to the kickback at Rail's house because him and his girl just got married, or like they just got together and was gonna get an apartment or something. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Go out and go hunting with this group, and then go to the mechanic shop and put on somebody's 20s and put an LED kit. Like I was always interested in a lot of different things. That's just the way that I am. Like I like to learn, even if it's just whatever surface level thing, like I'll do it just to learn it and get involved enough to have knowledge of it, and then I'll move on to the next thing that piques my interest. So when it comes to music, it's kind of just like that, just having fun, having fun, but like also making the music that I enjoy. Like I still haven't found them yet, but I would love to make a rock song with somebody. I would love to,
Right.
get on a country track. I don't think I could sing it. I'll write it.
Yeah.
I don't know
Because
that.
why not have your footprint there too? Like,
Right.
because why not?
Right. Why not? And then like, I know that in the grand scheme of things, and I think it really just depends on people's goals in the music, because like consistency does matter when you're trying to build a fan base and when you're trying to reach people. Like they don't want to hear this bomb, hip hop album from you, and then your next album is a country album. It's just like, what happened? I didn't sign up for this. But
Unless
me, yeah, unless you're Drake. But again, he had to build that. You know what I'm saying? Like he's at a level where it doesn't matter what he does because of his consistency in doing hip hop and R&B and making these tracks, and like you gain this fandom and this attunement to his voice. So it's like now, no matter whatever beat he's on, it's like, oh, well, it's Drake. He's gonna give me a melody that I like or some random line that's really not gonna do me no good, but because it just feeds into that lifestyle, I'm gonna listen to it.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of songs from Drake that I think are horrible.
Yeah, but it's also like a little bit different because like for the love of art, you're not following the trend. You just love the
Right.
art. So
Right.
it's like
Right. And
Beyonce and her house album. I fucked with, forever will. But I
A lot
you
of
have to give
people
respect
couldn't
to the
though,
art.
which is crazy.
yeah.
Like being able to just love the art of music.
Right. And I think what kills a lot of artists and fans, one is the expectation that the artist is going to be there to serve you. It's like, no, I didn't do this for you. I
Right.
did this initially because I love music. I like creating. So it's like eventually if I'm a painter and I'm known for painting vases, eventually I'm going to get tired of painting vases. I want to paint a dragon one day. just because, you know, or I want to paint a car or a still life, or you know what I'm saying, like my grandma. And it's like,
Right.
you know,
And then present it and
yeah,
keep in mind I'm an artist and I'm
right,
sensitive about my shit.
right. And it's still, and here's the thing, it's still good. It's just not
Yes.
for you, you know?
It's somebody like that shit. Somebody gonna like
Right.
it.
Somebody somewhere. It's
Absolutely.
too much out there for people to just be so close-minded. Because, you know, if people were a little bit more open-minded about their artists branching out and trying things, you know, they might find a whole nother community of something that they truly enjoy and get them out of that same mindset of just like, you know, wake up, I'm gonna put on this Nas album that I've been playing for the past 12 years. You know, I'm gonna wear the same clothes, hang around the same people, experience the same things that, you know what I'm saying? It's like it all starts with just little things that you add to your life that's different. So, you know, like I said before, I always took attention just to little different things. It's just like, you know, they like that. Why do they like that? Do I like that? Let me try that out, you know?
Yeah.
So,
That's a big thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Adding things to your life, even if they are the path that's not understood or not always followed. And there was something that I saw you do, a great accomplishment actually that I saw you do, and you did it alongside of somebody else who I've had the pleasure of having on the show, which was really crazy to me. But you graduated summa cum laude, if I'm saying that correct, of please, actually, I don't even want to say the program or the school because I don't want to mess it up, so I just want you to go ahead and sing your praises.
yeah, I have a feeling that you're talking about Pendulum Inc.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Pendulum Inc. All my artists, if you are a writer, even if you can write, I already could write, truth be told. But they've taught me the term. I can't say they taught it because they did teach it, but like the terms and scales and techniques already existed. They just put a name to them, and now it has structure. And I think it is worth the time and the investment if you love hip hop, if you love music, you know, if you're one of those purists. Um, Definitely take the time. You don't have to sign up for the whole thing, but definitely pop in, take a course, learn from, you know, some of these legends, these OGs that pop in on these web classes and seminars. Like our graduation, you know, we had Bun B come out, and randomly Skyzoo was just there, you know. Um, I mean, there's no other opportunity like that right now in music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they have master classes or whatever, but that is garbage most of the time. You go up
Yeah.
there, they say whatever spiel, you know, they present the path of how they got there, but you're not them, you know. So I think it's easier or it's best when someone can take you to the garage, give you the tools and say, you make it, but use these
Right.
to make it versus like, this is how I made it. Here's my, you know, step by step.
Template. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go out there, and if you fail, it's because you didn't do it right. It's like, no, it's just
That's
not
crazy.
genuine, you know. But
Yeah.
yeah, Pendulum Inc. Summa cum laude, I believe it's in there somewhere. Rap theorist. So I have to
That's
look.
dope,
Definitely do
man.
your roses.
That's
Yeah.
fucking dope, man. Like, I literally, man, it's
I remember when Clue showed me, I was like,
because it was
wait, what?
you, it was a homie, it was Star from Star in Life.
Starlight, yeah.
Yeah. And then it was a other homie. He was a dancer. He's a crumper as well. I can't think of his name. Real talk.
K12, K12.
K12. Yep. Yeah. So it's
That's
three
my
people. Yep.
dude.
I
I
was
talk to
like,
12 almost every day. That's my
man, that's
dude.
crazy. I was like, that's it. I literally, I had never heard of it before. I never, because I wouldn't. I'm not a writer, but it was like it was something that when I saw it all happen at the same time, I was like, man, that's crazy and it's super dope. I was hella proud of all y'all. And speaking of being able to go to the garage and tell me if I'm talking too much.
I mean, you're always talking too much. I would like to piggyback on the being proud of you guys. Like when you become a fan of someone, and honestly, like I didn't know who you were before I started liking Clue, and liking Clue led me to liking and subscribing to his podcast and then actually watching it because I wanted to hear his voice. But anyway, I would like, I work from home. I would be playing all of his interviews just in the background to hear his voice. And then I became fans of the people who were being interviewed, and you were one of them. So it's like I have to give you your roses when I have the opportunity to. Who are some of the people that you feel like paved the path? Because becoming a hip hop theorist, surely you like have some inspiration.
Oh yeah. I could. So I'm going to talk about people that, and I may have said this in the first interview, so I apologize if I'm repeating myself. But I'm going to talk about people that have initially inspired me to write, and then I'm going to talk about people that kind of inspire me right now in this current moment and to this day, since taking Pendulum Ink. So initially, um, number one, I couldn't listen to hip hop or like anything consecutive. If it was in the barbershop, whatever, that's fine. But like anything of my own, I didn't have the opportunity to listen to music for real until like high school because my parents didn't want me to. And honestly, I think it's a smart decision. Um, but so when that time came, it was a Soldier Boy era, Lupe Kick Push. The Cool was one of the first albums that I listened to. No, Food and Liquor. I'm sorry, Food and Liquor was one of the first albums I listened to. Kid Cudi, I was big fan of Kid Cudi because he was weird. I was weird at the time. I was like, he understands me. I'm trying to embrace the Martian, and everybody else is on trying to find that love. You know,
Yeah.
Drake was starting to get big, but yeah, like so for as far as music goes, definitely Kid Cudi, definitely J. Cole. He's a very big part. Kendrick, Saba, a lot of newer names are starting to fall into there. Nerd, Pharrell, big, like the vibe, big callback.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
Even
has
the
that sound.
beginning, to the
Not to say like
him.
it sounds like them, but it gives the vibe. Like you like, yeah.
That's
I love that
exactly
song,
where
man.
we got it from. And he's part of the reason why I try to sing because I was like, outside of like if you didn't hear him for rapping, you may not have liked his singing prior, but because we know who he is, it's a little bit more acceptable. And I think
Yeah.
he has that voice where you really want to hear it. Like,
yeah,
like it adds to it.
yeah. And I think that like you can, if you're not a singer, such as myself, I still believe that you can manipulate and use your voice in a way where it's still melodically pleasing. Like you don't have to hit every
Absolutely.
note. But yeah, big roses to all those people. Since Pendulum Inc., shout out to Mickey Fax. He's the founder first and foremost. I didn't listen to music prior to, so I didn't know who he was, but just getting to be around him, to talk to him, things like that. And then, him starting it for real, big shout outs to him. A guy named Jeff Walker. He's a music therapist. Hold on, let me get this right. Rhymecology. That's his full name, but he basically just does therapy and through hip hop and break down the lyrics and helps challenge the artists and students that come in. So big shout out to Jeff.
I love that.
I work with Jeff a lot. I actually made some beats for him. Big shout outs to Cam, Comic Book Cam. That was like my teacher, but me and him really clicked up. I hit him up. He has a feature coming out. Shout out to Chilla Jones. I already knew who he was because one of my homies love battle rap, but yeah, and then like some of my cohorts, K-12, class, she's a complete she says she's a novice. I don't believe it. She writes better than me. She's just gifted. If you have a chance and you want a female rapper that can bar people to death, Wave Sinatra. It's so many. All of my Gen 1 rap theorists, I'm a love. We fam. So it's already an equal mutual level of respect to them. But yeah, man, that's pretty much the pool. And just, artists and music today, like whatever I hear that sounds good. It doesn't matter. Like Thundercat inspires me, like whoever, whatever's just good music, man, big or small.
You mentioned two artists that I'm so glad that you said, because there's two of your tapes that I feel like I'm not, and I don't ever want to say like, because some people would be like, there's a difference between trying to be like somebody and being inspired by somebody.
Absolutely.
And so I feel like Lost and Found really, like, it sound, when you mentioned Saba, when I was listening to Lost and Found, I was like, man, like it had that vibe to it, which I really really enjoyed. And then when I was listening to the Crayon Box, the beat tape, I was listening to all those different tracks, and for one, like I loved being able to go through each color and try my best to be like, how does it feel to be orange? How does it feel to be black? How does it feel to be, what I'm saying? And then the last track was like RBDHT, whatever. Like, I was just like, what? I don't know what the fuck that even means, but it was just like, I bet. So, like, what were you trying to get across when you made that album? And how is it being a producer versus a writer?
I don't necessarily advertise being a producer because I don't think I'm that great. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll just grab a lot of different stems and like, play it. And I mean, to some people it might be great, but to
Mhm.
me, a producer is somebody that's like, yo, from nothing, I'm gonna make this pluck sound and this plug is gonna sound like a guitar by the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like I shout out those people, but lo-fi, certain hip hop beats that I'll make for people or for myself. It's cool. It's real cool. It's very challenging in certain ways. I I produce the same way I look for beats. Like I look for things that interest me and pique me, and then I'll try and see if I can, make something out of it. So when I did Crayon Box, um, it was more so just about like that first feeling of like being in kindergarten and you open a crayon box and it's like all these colors and you seen it for the first time. It's like you think blue smells different from orange. It's really all the same, but
Yeah.
oh, cool. Like let me see what this color feels like. Let me see what that like. Some of them had other names prior, but I just threw them in there because they felt like they belonged in there. But yeah. And then for you, artistic term, the last track is actually a typo. It's supposed to be Roy G. Biv, and that's a art.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
We know what Roy G. Biv is. This guy,
yeah.
you don't know what Roy G. Biv is?
No.
Shh, don't tell
Put it in the comments if y'all know what you think.
Yeah,
him.
man. I was having a dumb moment and being this is the issue of being independent. You don't got nobody to check you. I was like, I'm just gonna upload it. It'll be all
I
right.
mean,
But
it worked. It seemed like it was. I tried to make it make sense. It was like, is it red, blue, green? I tried to like
Well, yeah,
make it.
Roy G. Biv is the color of the rainbow. Red, orange,
Oh,
yellow, Roy. Green, blue, indigo, violet. G. Biv.
see, I couldn't make sense of it, but I'm glad you made sense. Okay,
It's the colors
we
in
in
a
there.
prism.
We in there. We in
yeah.
there. I'm glad you said that. But yeah, yeah, like you said, it's really crazy. That you was like, it just felt right because I felt like I was the only one growing up. When I look at numbers, I give numbers genders. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? People might look at me like I'm crazy, but I'd be like, nah, like two's definitely a guy,
You definitely
three's a
be
guy,
learning
four's a
all kinds
girl,
of new shit about
five's a
him.
guy, six is a girl.
Five's a guy and six is a girl. Two is definitely a girl.
Two is definitely a guy.
This guy.
One is a girl, but but anyways, and yep, there go my dogs. Anyways, with that being said, man, kind of bringing everything together, with the experience that you've had, being able to invest in yourself as an independent artist, being able to literally invest in your education as an independent artist, and being able to drop all these dope projects, collaboration projects. Didn't even realize that you had mentioned the Mad Geek in your first interview until I was re-listening. So it's crazy how we went full circle. I was able to interview him and everything.
Okay.
What advice would you be able to give to any upcoming artists and upcoming producers right now?
I would say before you even start making music, write down, what you really want to do. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to set some type of goal to achieve or some type of it's two things. It's a goal to achieve and it's also a boundary, right? So you know how far to push, but you also know where you need to stop at. So like
Thanks.
one thing I had to remind myself, like when I got kind of deeper into music, I was stressing myself out. So it's like, man, I'm not here, I'm not there. I don't want to do this, but I know I have to do this. I gotta post to increase my reach, but I hate posting. But it was like I had to remember, when I started music, it was in like when I started music seriously, at least, it was in my dad's church, in his office because he had a little Mac Mini there with Garage Band, and that's where I made my first OESN tape. And it was just for the fun and the love of it. It wasn't about like trying to get everybody and be this big Christian rapper and go on tour. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the story that people sell you, but like that's not what I wanted. So coming off of maybe the beginning of last year, coming off of that and just kind of sitting with it, it was just like, you know what, Jari, like you can just make music. You can just have fun. You can make merch too. It's okay. People do other crazier things with their money, you know? So I think when it comes to being a new artist, it's okay to have that initial feeling of like, man, I want to be the best. You should. Why wouldn't you want to be the best? The best you at least. Don't be the best version of anybody else, but yeah, you should want to push yourself. You should want to see, all right, cool. This feels like the best album I ever made. Can I beat it? Oh, I can, or I got a new idea. Cool, let's run with it. Let's see where it goes. Definitely don't lock yourself into a box. Don't fall into the rat race of just like Spotify streams and constant posting, because there's plenty other venues, plenty other ways to take it. Like right now, once I come off of studying for this IT cert, getting back into my music bag, I'm looking into sync licensing. You know what I'm saying? Why not get into a video game? Why not get into a movie? Why not, get your ass capped and treat yourself like a business and really pursue it versus just, oh yeah, I just perform at the club and, I'm trying to get on tour. And just like, for what? You can make millions sitting at home.
Clue, literally, we just had this conversation. Country Fan Mail in your video game? Why the hell not?
Right.
You gotta do different shit to get different results.
Right. Exactly. The definition of the saying is to do the same thing, expect a different result. So
absolutely.
And I'm not saying, no one stands a chance of standing out amongst the sea of artists, but let's be real, and now that everything is on the computer and you got AI helping people make music, it's going to be pretty difficult to just be that artist solely off of streams. You're going to have to do something really different to stand out, because truth be told, there's a lot of talented people out here.
Absolutely.
I've seen plenty of people in an open mic destroy, what I'm saying? Like, will kill a complete, like I can imagine them, and it would frustrate me as an artist, but it'll also make me happy because I get to see them at this level and not have to pay millions of dollars to see them. But I was just like, man, like you in a stadium would be amazing.
Crazy.
Would be better than everything that's out on the radio right now. I guarantee you. But just
hey, by all means, DM me those artist names. Like, we'd love to have them on Country Fan Mail as well.
All exposure, you know what I'm saying? And that's literally why we do what we do, because there's so many people that I feel like, honestly, there's not a time, and I'm not saying this as fluff, not just because we, saying we're virtually face to face, but honestly, anytime that I hit play on your music, I'm like, why is this not getting more spins? You know what I'm saying? Especially when you drop that joint project with you and Matt Parker. I mean, not you and Matt Parker, Matt Parker, you and Matt Geek. That was just
making up people's names and shit.
No, that's the name of the project. but yeah, it just, I was like, this needs more spins. And honestly, any person that I've had listen to the vibe, they're just like, yo, who is this?
Every time.
Like, this is dope. This is dope. And I'm just like, yeah, fucking play it. Let's run this shit the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? So it's dope. And before we draw this to a close, I do want to make sure that we mention you started a clothing brand, correct?
Yep.
Talk about that, please.
So yeah, I mean, it just falls under my whole brand, Anchored In. Like I literally been designing stuff since the start of it all, but I recently, I revamped the online shop. If you ever want to shop with us, just go to imanchoredin.com, IMANCHOREDN.com. Just click shop. It's a little online store. You'll find this shirt there. But yeah, I just do it because I know it's like a way for me to stay creative, because I did graduate with an art degree. I do have the skills to design. So it's not that I don't enjoy doing it from time to time. It's just, I don't want to do it every day. So,
right.
It's something for me to do as an outlet. And then it's just, a piece of myself that I get to share with others. It's like, oh man, here's some cool, either Christian apparel or just regular, music apparel. If you just love our music and you want to support, or if you just want something different to wear that not most people don't have, it's like, yeah, come shop with us. Why not?
I like that. I like that. Yeah, it takes a lot to do that. You know what I'm saying? I tried to get into the apparel side for a while, and that was the one thing that I wanted to do, was make sure that something that I did, I wanted it to be, people felt that exclusivity of like, not everybody has it, but it's also not trying to break nobody's pockets. It's not like that. Just something cool. If you want to support, come, you know what I'm saying, stop by, you know what I'm saying, something like that. And you know, it was a helpful creative outlet. So yeah, for sure. Make sure that y'all tap in with this G, you know what I'm saying, get some apparel.
I will say, like, the site that I go through, just for people to know, like, it's not, a lot of it's not for profit. I get $1.50 off of your purchases. A lot of my stuff.
Let's be honest, yeah.
No, it's dead facts. Like, because they print it, they ship it. I don't touch it. Like, unless it's like a hat or something that I personally do, I don't touch it.
Yeah.
And a lot of the other profit I just give to donations, because I'm not in, you know, merch to make money. I have to be honest with you. So it's like, I don't really need it. I just like to see people wear it. So
that's dope.
That, and it's a conversation starter. So it absolutely helps to bring the attention back to the art, the music. Not saying, I mean, clothing is absolutely its own lane of art. So
that's dope. That's really dope, man. And then, like I said, that's even more of a reason to make sure that y'all tap in with Anchor. Then you know what I'm saying, that's, you know what I'm saying, doing it for the love. You know, everybody be so pressed to buy this shit that people, you don't know nothing about the person who's designing it. They don't care to know nothing.
You don't know what they stand for. You just got this like I'll be the biggest one, like, ooh, that's cute. Let me Google what this means. My husband will be like, you don't want to buy it? I'm like, I don't want to be walking around with just anything on my body, and I'm advertising for like, for who the hell? I don't know.
Wear Tommy Hilfiger. Anyway, we're not gonna get too deep. But yeah, so before we wrapping all this up, man, you know, any last comments, and then definitely let everybody know where they can follow you, and once again where they can tap in with your music and get your clothing.
Yeah, no doubt. Last comments. This is an odd thing to say, but I feel my spirit to say it. If you don't know Jesus, hit me up. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? I'll pray for you. We can talk about it. Won't give you anything phony, but in this time, in this climate that we live in, I do have to address that. Outside of that, you can find me everywhere at _Young Parker, because my name isn't the first name that's important. Spotify, Young Parker should be a guy, my face on it. If you don't see the Crayon Box beat tape, if you don't see, actually, you won't see the vibe, because that's under Mad Parker.
My apologies. Is that another one?
Yeah, that's under MADD Parker. It's a combination of our names. But the Odyssey, check that out. It's a great time if you do want straight hip hop. It's one of my favorite projects I've ever made. But if you're just tapping in and want to tap in with me, listen to Lost and Found, listen to OASN3, get on YouTube. We'll have videos up there. Well, I do have videos up there, but we'll have more content shortly. All that stuff is in the works. But yeah.
For sure, man. Hey, I mean, I appreciate you coming on. It's like I said, it's been a journey, being able to see the growth and see, you know, so everything that's been going on with you pretty much, and it's been almost like 3 years pretty much. And it's super dope, because not everybody continues to do this shit. You know, there's so many people that, and no diss to anybody who chose to change their path, but when you stick with it, it says something about you. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
It's definitely dope to still see you going.
No doubt, man.
And we're so excited for any of your future endeavors. Definitely keep us tapped in. We want to make sure that we celebrate you. I don't know if you guys know this, but Clue is constantly resharing KFM artists on all of his social media. So we know for sure, like, we are out here supporting you, and we want to see you win.
Well, I appreciate that. And yeah, music is on the way. There's 3 projects, one old one that I wrote back in 2020 that I never released, and then 2 new things. So yeah, music's definitely on the way. I'm here to stay, no matter what that looks like. But
say that.
Here to stay. So
you just dropped a short for something. Is that on a new project? Because man, you was talking. I mean, excuse my language.
Yeah, it's your show, man. Nah, the shorts, I just write those. Literally, those will just come in a day, and I'm just like, let me drop this.
Oh man, that has to be an interlude on one of your projects because that thing,
it
like it is so
definitely gives interlude vibes. They don't do that as much anymore.
Yeah, smooth interlude. That it's like a track, and it's like people be like, "Dang, why was that only 40
right
seconds?"
1 minute 20 seconds. Nah, definitely though. Like, and ever since Pendulum, like I'm a little bit more conscious about how I write. Definitely adding more techniques. A little bit. I couldn't punch before. Like I could glitch. I could do other little techniques, but as far as like multi-syllabic rhyming and like consciously doing it on purpose and then punching a little bit better and doing some glitching and some shadow box, man.
I heard it, bro. I heard
Yes,
it. I was like, oh my god,
y'all not ready. If y'all thought I was good before, y'all not ready when I'm serious. So you'll know the difference. You'll know the
y'all
difference.
hear it, man. Y'all better tap in with them and make sure that y'all tap in with the older projects too. I mean, that's the best thing. Look at the rise of a rapper. Look at somebody comes up. Look at the growth that they've had.
The diversity of it all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank y'all for tapping in. Thank y'all for coming on to the show. Excuse me. This is Cluedadon. You can tap in with me on Instagram at KLUEDADON_.
And this is your girl Pisces. It's PISPRN_S on all the things.
Yes. And this is the Young Parker interview. Thank you again, sir, for tapping in. Country Family Podcast, where a fan makes a fan. We out of here.